folks, what's going on? Hope everybody's doing really good today. I'm just kind of going through some walking bass line patterns here this morning. Just trying to mix it up a little bit. I find it's really good for your, cognitive skills and your concentration. You have to really remain kind of focused on that, to keep it smooth and in time, and also to, manipulate the line as you go. Sometimes I'd go, I'd ascend it, sometimes I'd descend it, then I would invert that. What I'm talking about is stuff like this. So I'll ascend the bass line on this A minor. So, here we go. Now when I get up to this D, what I usually will do is something opposite. So where I ascended, so I descended it. Then sometimes I'd invert that and I'd descend the A minor, like. And then ascend the D7 chord, okay? So I'm just going back between two chords, A minor and D7, okay? So, basically what I'm doing here is just playing a really generic bass line with it, but it's just good practice, and it's good to get that together if you desire to play that kind of stuff. So what I'm doing is just holding my pick. You can see I'm just thumbing over to get this A minor shape or whatever, okay? So I'll hit the bass string, the E string, with my pick, and then I'll pluck the D, G, and B string with my middle, ring, and pinky like this. And you get this kind of neat sound, So then what I did was this. Excuse me, whoa. Man, that was a bad one. Anyway, folks, I just made a little generic bass line, like I said. Basically chromatic, but it gets me back to that A, okay? So one hit, and then I'll start the bass line. So let's just, to get your skills built up, I think that's a good thing to just start with. This A minor, just thumb over and bar the whole thing. Now I'm leaving the A string open. I'm not really playing it though, but so let's just start right there. So pick, and then all three fingers. You only have to do that hit one time, okay? The rest of it's just the bass line. So it's like. I'm ascending this one because we want to get to this D, okay? So we can start. So that's what's going on. So really slow, I'm going to play both of those together, like. Okay, D7. Hitting the A string now and plucking the D, G, and B with my fingers all at once. Okay, so really slow. Here we go. Get that that down and get that so it feels good, so you don't have to really think about it too much, and you can just... Okay, so anyway, once you get that together, again, we're just switching back and forth between those two chords. Now it almost sounds, when you do it right and you can get it nice and clean, you can almost get it to sound like you have a bass player playing with you, which is really fun, and it's really entertaining, you know, as a player to pull that stuff off. So so the next thing is just adding different patterns, okay? So let's descend the A first, okay? So descend that, then you could ascend, you know, this way. Okay, now this is really basic stuff, mind you. It's nothing really super tough, but it's just getting this technique down with your right hand, okay? I don't wear nails or anything like that. My fingers are just calloused up from doing it, you know. You get that built up. I can almost make that sound like a pick with no fingernail just because my calluses are built up on my fingers so much from playing like that. So anyway, here's another little version or another alternate kind of way you can do it. Let me see. Okay, so I'm ending on an open D, which is where we need to be. So all we did here was we slide down to the A string in the second, and then D string in the second, and then D string in the first, and then D string open. And then we're going to be starting to climb back up for the A chord, okay? So you're always kind of moving. Once you hit the chord, you got to move in a direction to get to the other chord, okay? That's just kind of how this works. So now, like I said, I like to descend one and then ascend the other one sometimes. It just gives it a little more color and a little more tension, that's all. Now, another little thing you can do, you probably heard me do this in the beginning. I'll add a figure like this. And then, okay, instead of just that, you know. So, I'll add those two shapes in here. I'm going to just play it basic, then I'll go right to the other two shapes, okay? So... So I'll really put some attack into those three fingers when I hit that, you know, and I'll kind of lighten up on the bass line. And that really, the harder you do it, the more dynamic it gives, really. It's a really cool thing, and you can kind of make the guitar kind of growl on those hits, you know. This, again, is just really basic stuff. I'm not a professional at this or proficient in this walk and bass stuff, but I do try to keep practicing it to keep up the skills that I've built. So it's really fun to play like this. Again, if you're just sitting around, you know, just playing alone or whatnot, you know, to lay down a loop. If you laid that on a loop, you could play against it and stuff, which is really fun too. And again, it's just basic stuff. 2-chord vamp here, and you can add, a third chord if you'd like to, but I'm kind of stuck between these two for now, and you can obviously move this shape around too. You could key changes and that kind of thing. So just keep that in mind, and again, just try to work really slow at it. That's the key. And that's the biggest thing. That's got to be able to happen just naturally. Now, sometimes I'll make a half-step approach from below, like that. Or like I said, I may hit the 9 chord, or this, with the A minor, like I said. So try different bass patterns. That's the whole point. Now, I just showed you 3 kind of little versions of it. So take those versions and learn each one of them, and then start, take 2 of them, one bass line, and, start inverting those. So you may ascend on the A chord, 1 measure, and then try to descend on the D chord, and then the next time around, flip it around, so you're changing it up every time. It's quite a challenge to keep that together mentally, I'm saying. You have to really focus here, so it's a good little exercise. I try to do this at least a couple times a week. Even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes, twice a week at least, so I can keep that together. And you can build the speeds up and all that. It's not about speed. It's really about technique. And playing it slow is really harder. And I honestly think it's more powerful sometimes playing it slow, because there's so much space in between, the hit. So unbearable to wait for that next chord hit sometimes, which is, that's kind of a cool thing. It's tension, all right? Contrast and that kind of stuff. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you. I've done another lesson like this, I'm pretty sure. It's hard to keep track. I've done over 450 something lessons now. We're coming up on a year here. I've been doing this since around late June in 23 is when I started this channel. And I looked this morning and I'm within under 30 subs, and I'm going to hit 1,000. So, if you guys haven't subbed, this is all free. It's just a donation of my time. And I enjoy doing this, don't get me wrong. I don't ask for money or anything like that. But just click the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up for me would be big. I know a lot of you guys that watch the channel don't subscribe, and that's cool. I get it. I don't subscribe to every channel that I watch, but if it's a good one and I'm going to keep watching the channel, I will subscribe just to help out the content creator, so it keeps them going, and he can make money on the ads and stuff like that, which I'll be able to do the same at 1,000. So help me out if you would, share it with your friends, and maybe kind of get a couple other people to subscribe to it. I'd really appreciate that. It helps me out, like I said. This is a really fun guitar to play. It's really comfortable, even though the body size is really big. It's it's pretty thin, you know. It's thicker than a, you know, like a Strat or Les Paul, obviously, but it doesn't. I don't even notice the body because I'm not looking at it, but it just kind of feels like a Les Paul in my hand. The neck profile, especially, really has a Gibson-esque type feel to it. Nice fretwork too. They did a great job. No sharp stuff here. This is all nice and smooth and clean. The intonation's pretty good. I got a few high nut slots down here. Just a couple that I'm gonna get, you know, because you know I can push when I push down really hard. I can bend that, you know, not quite a semitone, but you can hear it. So it's got to come down just a little bit. It's a little high off the first fret, and that will throw your intonation out, especially down in the first position. See, it's out a little. It is what it is. You got to, you know, fine tune this stuff. Even American guitars, it's just how this stuff goes. You know, they get them out of the factory basically so they won't buzz and they'll play. The action's usually a little higher than normal, and it's up to you to get that taken care of. They don't want these guitars hanging in the store and someone picks it up and it buzzes. That's a no sale, okay? So anyway, I hope this helps. Again, start really slow. Add those in too. That's really fun. Good dynamic, good attack on them too. That's kind of one of the funner ones of the ones I showed you that I enjoy playing. I love that sound of that, you know, that big hit, and then that kind of just mellow bass line. That sounds really nice when you do it slow like that. Now, if you had a nice set of brushes going on a snare drum, you'd be in, you know. Anyway, folks, thanks for checking out this video. I'm going to work on this guitar maybe later tonight or something and just get this one up to snuff. And I try to do that as I dig them out if they need any attention. I just try to go through it as best I can, and it's taken a while. I have a lot of guitars to go through, so you know they all need attention at times. You know, certain times of year especially. So you know, pay attention to them. Here's a tip for you. It's getting summertime and stuff now too. Start checking your guitars. You know, if it's been sitting around for a week or something, or even a few days. Check your, if it's, you know, tune it to pitch, let it sit on the, whatever, on the stand for a few days, and then check it again and see if it's sharp or if it's flat. Now that can tell you a lot about your room and the humidity and what's going on outside and the seasonal changes. I really pay attention to that stuff a lot because, you know, I have a temperature gauge and a humidity gauge in my room here, but you know, still, it's kind of guitar to guitar. Some of these are in cases, some of them aren't. So that's just how it goes. I like having my guitars hanging. A lot of guys say no. I've been doing this for, God, I don't know, 5 years or so, 45 years, I think now. You know, I still have my first guitar. I still have my first electric over there. It's hanging. Never had an issue with it, but I have a really nice climate controlled room that takes care of that. And other than just dusting them off, it's not really a big deal. It's easy for me just to walk over to the wall and grab what I want. You know, if I play a couple chords, I'm like, this one don't feel good, or it's not the one I'm looking for. I just put it back and walk across to either wall. There's guitars lined all the way up and down them. I have no lack of options for guitar tones. Let's just put it that way. I'm not bragging about it or anything like that, you know. It's just, you know, I've accumulated a lot of stuff over the years, and I'm not one to sell much, so you know, it gets piled up. Anyway, folks, I hope this lesson was fun, and I hope you guys enjoy working on those bass lines. It's really fun to play like that, like I said, and hopefully it's different than the way you're playing. I mean, I see guys that only play with a pick. I see guys that play with no pick. You know, you get the Mateo style. There's all kinds of different styles, which is great. I think you should work on all of them, really. You know, we all should at times, just to, you know, keep things moving and open up some different options as far as tone and playing style. So, again, you know, don't just get stuck in one rut. If you're stuck in a rut, try some of this stuff. And hopefully that'll bring you out of your slump and get you on to something different. And you can always go back to the stuff that you're struggling on. That's what I do. I don't spend a lifetime on one lick or one scale. If I can't get it, you know, within 25 minutes or so of running through it, then I'll put a pin in it and I'll try something else and I'll come back to that, you know, either later in the day or the next practice routine that will get, you know, shuffled into the lineup until I do get it. You know, it's tough to keep all that together, though. You know, you learn so much stuff over the years. There's no way I could keep all the chops up that I've acquired, you know, without playing every day, all day. You know, I suppose if you was playing, you know, gigs and stuff, it's different. You know, and you're playing a lot of the same stuff, which gets old to me, but anyway, all right, I think I've rambled enough here today, folks. Again, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and really thank you to the whole crew out there. You guys are the ones that are doing it. I appreciate all the support, all the subscribers, all the really nice, kind words in the comments section, and also all the info in the comments section. You know, again, I put a bunch of videos up here, so go into my playlists on my channel. There's guitar lessons, guitar repairs, amp demos, guitar demos, gear repair. I mean, you name it, it's on there. So, you know, hopefully some of that stuff will help you out if you're looking for, you know, information on repairs or playing or amps or whatever. I've covered most everything in my collection, not all of it, but quite a bit of it, so you'll be a while going through it, there's no doubt. All right, thanks again, folks. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys real soon. Keep playing. Be good. Okie doke.